Let's bring in David Cay Johnston, a Pulitzer Prize-winning tax reporter, author of Free Lunch, How the Wealthiest Americans Enrich Themselves at Government Expense and Stick You with the Bill. He's also now a columnist for Tax Notes. David, thanks for your time tonight. Let's get right to it. Start with the basics. These tax cuts did not prevent high unemployment. So how would continuing them actually go to reduce it?
Well, they won't. They won't create a single job. Jobs are created when companies have business. They have people buying their products and services. And if the president falls for this and lets the Republicans set the agenda and set the George Bush temporary tax cuts as the base, 2 years from now he'll be running and they'll be saying, look at the enormous deficits that have been caused by the president's policies.
All right, so explain how higher tax rates might actually make rich people hire more workers. Break that down for us.
Well, it's a little counterintuitive, Thomas, but if you own a business and the cost of withdrawing money from that business to, say, buy a Modigliani painting is 15%, and the painting's $85 million, you withdraw $100 million from your business and buy the painting, and you give the government $15. If the tax rate's 50% for that $85 million painting, you're going to withdraw $170 million. The lower we make the tax rate, the more we increase the likelihood that owners will withdraw money from their businesses, which means basically destroying jobs, and put it into unproductive assets like art, jewelry, their third mansion, another yacht, things like that.
All right, so David, the Republican argument, though, is that the people making over $250,000 a year are the small business owners out there around the country. But you helped the show Countdown refute that notion, though. Explain.
That's exactly right. It is a very narrow segment of businesses. There are about 15,000 small businesses with an average revenue of $150 million each, whose owners will benefit from this, and about 20,000 partnerships with almost the same average revenue. This is about Bechtel, the $31 billion a year engineering company, and a variety of other multi-billion-dollar businesses getting enormous tax cuts. It is not about the mom-and-pop businesses we think of, or even the little manufacturers, as small business.
All right, then how are people being sold this bill of goods, then?
Well, it's very easy to make an argument that says tax is bad. And that's exactly how the Republicans have successfully framed this. And the president, frankly, is utterly failing at his duty to be a leader, to be out there educating people and saying, we need to be having a serious debate here about how do we shape our tax system to raise the money we have for our government, and how do we spend that money? Because we're spending an enormous amount of it, Thomas, in incredibly unproductive ways. Almost half the world's expenditures for health care, the U.S. government. Half the world's military expenditures, that's totally economically unproductive, the U.S. government. Huge, massive subsidies to these plutocrats who financed this election and tricked all these people who thought they were going to get congressmen who were going to cut spending, and lo and behold, now they're proposing massive new deficits through continued tax cuts for the rich.
All right, so which would be more effective for the economy? Actually extending the Obama tax cuts, the Bush tax cuts, or something else entirely that we haven't even thought of yet?
I think something else entirely. We have massive deficits in our country we need to address. We need to be repairing our infrastructure before dams collapse and people die, fix our roads so that we can move goods more efficiently. We need to be putting money into education. We are rapidly falling behind the rest of the world in the quality of the education that we're providing, and especially the number of advanced degrees in science and engineering. And we need to be putting money into scientific research so some of the best minds in America don't leave as they are and go to places like China, where the fruits of their intellectual property are going to benefit another country, not us. That's the debate the president should have, and he should be taking this to the Republicans and saying to them, we're about the future. We're going to lead this nation to a prosperous future. Your plans are about more debt and protecting the already wealthy so that they can continue to use their money in unproductive ways. That's the debate we ought to be having in this country.
Yeah, and the Dems framing a new narrative for everyone to listen to. David Cay Johnston of Tax Notes and the author of Free Lunch. David, good to have you with us. Thanks for your time tonight.